So now I know you can see me and you can hear me. So good evening, and welcome to this class today. I want to especially acknowledge you for joining in for today's class. Today, we're just beginning our journey in project management, and it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about it. I hope you are also excited about it. So, this course is for project managers, those who are working in projects, in organizations, and also those who are uh, in different roles and that may also require knowledge of project management in carrying out the work that they do. All right, because project management cuts across every industry, every profession. All right, you can find it in the construction industry, you can find it in government service industry, which some of you are. You can find it in the health sector. You can find it in finance. You can find it in IT. It cuts across virtually every sector and virtually every job role you find yourself. You will find it needful to apply project management principles and methodologies. So this is very important. Organizations today are no longer doing things haphazardly. All right. Everything you do in an organization should be when you running. All right. Organizations today around the world project managers occupying their positions, all right, filling up roles. So that's why this skill you're learning, high demand today. It's a high demand skill you're learning, and we're going to be diving into it today. This course has about 13 modules. It has about 13 modules. So we're going to be taking each module um, per week. All right. So each module per week. So usually we usually run the course for like 6 to 7 weeks. So which means we're going to be taking two module per week. All right. But for this first week, we're going to be doing one module. All right. So from next week, we're going to be taking two modules per week so that we should be able to cover up within the time frame of 6 to 7 weeks. And then you can do your project, then write your professional certification exam. Okay. So I've mentioned the fact that project managers are needed globally. In fact, there is an increase in demand for project managers. All right. And there is a statistic that says by 2030, more organizations are going to be needing over 30 million project managers. All right. And that's in every sector. In every sector. So there's a high demand for it. And also, having this project management certification gives you an expanded applicability. It makes you more attractive to better job roles, makes you more attractive to better job positions. All right. Managerial positions, higher managerial positions. Okay. When I was training the GM of BPP, he was telling me that even he had to travel abroad to go and do his own project management training. And you can see that is what he's using in the current job that he has right now. All right. So virtually every CEO I know, virtually every top management personality I know have this project management certification. All right. So if you want to go higher up in your organization, is an important certification that you need to have. And if you want to become attractive to prospective employers in better positions in in your so having said that, I want to welcome you once again. This course, like I said, is going to run for 7 weeks. So for each week, we're going to be taking two modules. We have about 13 modules. We're going to be running it for 7 weeks. After each module, you will have a quiz that you're going to be taking, all right? Quiz or a test that you're going to be taking to actually measure how much you have learned from that particular then to the next model. So at the end of the whole training program, you're going to be given a project that you will do, and then you now write the professional certification exam. This course is actually divided into two parts. We have the preliminary stage, which is the part one. We'll call that associate project manager. All right, certified associate project manager. So that's the first part. And then the second part, you have the project management professional itself. All right. So those are the two parts, and you're going to be getting two certifications. And these certifications are both locally and internationally recognized. That's why I said it boosts your professional credibility. All right. Wherever you go, when you're seeking better job opportunities, and then, of course, once you send it out and then they see that you are a certified project manager, it gives you better credibility, better reputation, opens you up to better pay. All right. So, with this project management competency and the certification, there are several opportunities that you're open to. Like I said, number one, higher managerial positions. You could become a project consultant. All right. You could work as a project consultant. You could work as a project supervisor. Of course, across several fields, you could handle several projects because you can apply it to almost any kind of project in every sector. Okay. So that's what makes it not only in high demand, but very key at the career level that you are right now. So going forward in your career, you're going to find it very, very useful. All right. So the material you're going to be using, the first one is the project management guide, the PMBOK guide. All right. That's the one you're going to be using. The PMBOK guide is an international standard. Okay. That's the course material that is used by project managers from all around the world, irrespective of the country where you are. So that's the material we're going to be using. I'm going to open it up to you now. You're going to see it. I've already sent it to you at that. I hope you've seen it. Okay. So that one you have is a complete material, the sixth edition. All right. First things first, what you need is the knowledge base, which is included in the PMBOK guide. All right. And then, having registered for this course, you have the benefit of getting a bonus course, bonus digital skill. We have over 20 digital skills that you can choose from, all right, to add to this, and you take that one for free. So later I'm going to be sending you a catalog of those digital skills so you can look through them and see which one you're interested in that actually applies to your current job role or maybe a job role that you are aspiring towards. So in that catalog, we have courses like copywriting, all right? Project managers need copywriting skills. We have data analytics or data analysis. Project managers need to be able to analyze data. We have courses like animation design. We have website design. We have Excel, all right? Microsoft Excel. We have several courses, about 20 digital skills that are in high demand that you find useful. So I'll send you the catalog and then you can choose the one that you're interested in and get started with that. But that one will be majorly online, right? It's self-paced, okay? And then you can take that one. But that will be after this training, all right? After the PMP training, after you're done with this one, you can go ahead and take that one. Okay. So um, after today's class, I'm going to add you, create a group, all right? A WhatsApp group dedicated for this training. So I'm going to be including you in that group. There you can ask your questions, all right? Make your comments about the training. And there also, I'll be putting materials that is going to help you in better grasping this course. Okay. So open up, share with you the slide that we'll be using for this course. Okay. Like I said, you have the complete material in the project management body of knowledge, all right, which have been sent to you at that. I'm going to be sending it to you shortly. Um, Sapporo, I'm going to be sending it to you now. Let me just send it so you have access to it. So I've sent it to you, Sapporo. You can check your WhatsApp. You see it there. Okay. So that's what we'll be using. It's in short forms, very, very easy to actually digest. All right. And then this slide is a summarized version of what you have in the PMBOK guide there. So you have the complete details there in the PMBOK guide. So I'm going to be sharing my slide with you now so you could see it and follow me. All right. So can you see my slide now? You can see my slide. Type 3. So I hope you can see my slide. All right. So let me proceed. I believe you can see it. So what you have there is the project management professional, a guide to project management body of knowledge, as you can see there. So this is the standards that we're going to be using throughout this course. Okay. All right, that's good. You can see it. And, so you have there week one introduction to project management framework and the introduction to project management and the PMI framework. Right, so that's what we're going to be dealing with in this. As this is the model one, right? So the PMI framework, PMI is simply right? Project Management Institute, organization or the body, the certifying institute that management course, right? They have their headquarters in the United States of America. So they are the ones in charge of administering this project management and professional training and regulating the standard all around the world, right? So that's the standard every project manager uses. Okay. So this is the course outline for this module one. All right. Right there, as you can see, I'm just Okay, let me change my presentation format. Just a second. Okay, I believe you can see my projection now. You can see my slide in another format. Okay, all right. So here we go. Welcome back. In this next section, we'll be exploring the standard for project management, a cornerstone of project management practices worldwide. So let us dive in. So this section is talking about the standard for project management. Like I said, project management has a standard, all right, for project managers all around the world. Okay, standard for project management. So let's look at the definition. What is a standard? The standard for project management refers to the globally recognized guide developed by Project Management Institute, right? So it's a globally recognized guide that was developed by the Project Management Institute. Like I said, the Project Management Institute is the organization, all right, the certifying body or the regulating body that is in charge of project management all around the world. It outlines the best practices, principles, and processes used by project managers worldwide. Okay, so that is what the standard does. It outlines the practices, how project management is practiced all around the world, and the principles and the processes that are used in practicing project management by professionals from all around the world. So, why is this standard important? This standard is crucial for ensuring consistency and uniformity in project management practices across industries and organizations, right? So, like I said, by the time you've gone through this course, you'll be at the same level with project managers from the United States, Canada, and all around the world. So this standard helps all of us to be at the same level, to be able to see on the same plane, all right, and relate on the same plane all around the world, as long as it's project management we're talking about. Okay, irrespective of the industry you are, irrespective of the country you are, no matter the organization you are, this standard puts all of us project management professionals on the same level playing field, right? It also provides a common language and framework for project managers to communicate and collaborate effectively. So as project managers, we need to be able to communicate with one another. We need to be able to collaborate in the work that we do. So if we have a standard that everybody accepts, everybody agrees with, right, and that everybody can relate with, it makes it easier for us to be able to work together and collaborate. Okay, so let's look at the key elements in this standard. The first one is the process groups, which I talked about initially, right? I mentioned the process groups initially. And the process groups in project management are actually five of them. We have the initiating process group, we have the planning process group, we have the executing process group, the monitoring and control, and then the closing process group. So those are five process groups that you have in the project management field. Okay, so everything we're going to be doing in this course falls within one or more of these process groups, from initiation to planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. So take note of this. They are very, very important. It's just like the five fingers on your hand. That's how these process groups are in project management. So the next key element in this program is the knowledge areas. Knowledge areas. So we have about 10 knowledge areas in project management, and they include the integration management, the scope management, the schedule management, or what we call time management. All right. The cost management, quality management, resources management, communications management, risk management, procurement. All right. For those of you who are in procurement, you can see it now. We have procurement management inside project management. Isn't that wonderful? And then lastly, we have stakeholder management. So these are the knowledge areas we'll be looking at. All right. That will be in the next part. Okay. Next, the another key element in this standard are inputs, tools, and techniques. All right. The guide outline the input tools and techniques used in each process to achieve project objectives. So for every process group that we have mentioned before, we have inputs, all right? We have tools and we have techniques that we use for each and every one of them. Okay, so we'll be going into all this in more detail later. And then apart from the input tools and technique, we also have outputs. Okay, we have outputs. Excuse me. So when you integrate the input together with the tools and techniques, you get the output. Excuse me. So interaction, that's another key element in this program. And this involves how processes and knowledge areas interact and influence each other. So we're going to be seeing how those processes influence each other. Now, alignment with the PMP exam is very, very important. The familiarity with the standard for project management is critical for your PMP exam preparation, as it forms the basis for the exam questions and scenarios. Right. So for you to be able to prepare adequately for the certification exam, you have to be in alignment with the standard of this course. Okay. So let's look at the key takeaways in this section. Number one, now you have understood the definition and significance of the standard for project management as a global guide for project management practices. Okay, the standard is a global guide for project management practices. Provide common language for project managers. So it's important because it provides consistency and a common language for project managers from all around the world. Now, you've also gotten acquainted with the key elements, including process groups, knowledge areas, inputs, tools, techniques, outputs, as well as interaction. Acknowledge the alignment of the standard with the PMP certification. So, whenever you're going to be doing now grasp of the standard for project management. In the next section, we'll be looking at common vocabulary, right, to enhance our understanding of project management methodology. Keep up the great progress, and I'll see you in the next section. Okay, so let's go to the next section. Hope you're following. So, great job so far. In this section, we'll explore the common vocabulary used in project management. Understanding these terms is essential for effective communication and collaboration as a project manager. So let's dive in and look at that project managers from all around the world have to use in their profession. So the common language definition. The common vocabulary refers to the standardized terms and expressions used in project management. Every profession has a vocabulary, which is jargon, all right? For engineers, they have their own vocabulary, they have their terms that they use. For medical professionals like doctors, they have their own vocabulary, right? They have their own terms that they use to communicate with one another and to be able to pass information across that relates to their work. Okay, the same applies to project managers. We also have our common vocabulary and our terms, standardized terms, as recognized by the project management body of knowledge, all right? And we use these vocabularies to communicate information and to express ourselves in the line of the work that we do, okay? These terms are universally recognized and they help ensure clear and consistent communication among project stakeholders, right? So the terms that we use, just like in every other profession, they are globally recognized. So everywhere you go and you talk about these things or you use these terms, any project manager from anywhere can actually understand what you are talking about. So why is this important? Why is it important for us to have a common language, a common vocabulary that we use as project managers? Now, having a common vocabulary is vital for avoiding misunderstandings and confusion during project execution. Now, you can imagine maybe you're handling a construction project, all right? Any little miscommunication or any little misunderstanding can have very, very significant adverse effect on the project. In fact, it can even put people at risk. Imagine you're constructing a road, or you're constructing a bridge, or you're constructing a story building. Any little error in your communication or any misunderstanding of what has been communicated can actually lead to someone taking the wrong decision or taking the wrong action, and that could have very catastrophic effects. All right, so it's very, very vital for us to have a common vocabulary, common language that we all use to communicate so that we can actually understand each other. Now, secondly, this common vocabulary allows project managers to convey information accurately and enables team members to align their understanding of project related concepts. So, as project managers and stakeholders, team members, we can actually communicate project related concepts in such a way that each of us can understand it, right? So let's look at terms that we use as project managers. Right? For medical professionals like doctors, you'll be hearing things like gentamicin, synquanon, and the rest of them. Well, so the first one is project. Project. This is a very common term that you're going to be hearing throughout this course. All right. Then we have project management, of course. So very, very important as well. Then we have stakeholders. So you're going to be hearing me talking about stakeholders, all right? Because you can't have a project without stakeholders. Even the project manager himself is a stakeholder in a project, right? So this is another very, very important term. So you'll be hearing me talk about scope, project scope, significance of scope, how far is the scope, all right? So that's a very, very important um, term. We're going to be seeing meaning of these um, terms much later, all right? But for now, let's talk about or phase or a milestone or even the entire project itself. Okay, so at every point in a project, at every point where you have carried out an activity, there should be an outcome or a result of that particular activity. Understand? So that outcome or result is what we call a deliverable. Are you getting it now? So, of course, we have different types of projects. This training that we're doing is also a project because it actually has the characteristics of a project. We have building construction, all right? We have recruitment, we have development of a product, all right? So, different things can actually make up a project. So, and along the line, you have deliverables, an output, an outcome as a result of the actions that have been taken. So that's what the deliverable is. And then risk. You can't talk about project management without talking about risk because there's always risk in project management. And then issue. Issue is another very important term that you're going to be hearing us use in this course. Change control. This is another significant term as well because in every project you'll be having changes during the life cycle of the project. So change control simply means how do you manage those changes to ensure that at the end of the day you will still be able to achieve the objective for that project, right? So as a project manager, you need to understand change control. I'm going to be talking about that much later. Baseline is another very key term in project management. So for you to have a successful project, you need to understand the baseline. Like I said, this standard that we're using, the project management body of knowledge, is like a baseline for project managers from all around the world. So we have a platform from where we can actually move. Okay. So when you're going into a project, you must understand what is the baseline. Where are you starting from? That everybody can actually relate with. Okay. Then we also have what we call critical paths. Critical path. If you want to go from point A to point B, there is a particular route that you have to take to be able to get from point A to point B, right? You cannot go through any other route for you to be able to get to point B. No matter the obstacles that you have to find a way to be able to overcome those obstacles so that you can get to point B. So you cannot change your direction. That is why it is called a critical path. It is a road that is essential for you to achieve a particular aim or objective. Right? So that's what critical path is all about. So in managing a project or carrying out a project, there is always a critical path to follow. All right. So when you have identified the path that you need to take to get your project done, so you do whatever it takes to be able to overcome any constraints you meet along the way to be able to get your project done. That's why it's called a critical path. right? So how do we use these terms? We'll be discussing how these terms are applied in various project management scenarios and their significance in ensuring project success. Okay. All right. So one of the key takeaways from this section, number one, you'll be able to understand the concept of common vocabulary in project management and its role in effective communication. Of course, now you recognize the importance of using standardized terms to avoid misunderstanding. And you've also been able to familiarize yourself with key project management terms and their meanings. Okay? Then you understand the use cases of these terms in real project management scenarios. Okay? So, like I said, we'll discuss the use cases for them much later. All right, so congratulations, you'll be able to complete another section of introduction to project management and the PMI framework. In the next section, we'll explore code guides project managers in upholding the highest ethical standard. You see, as project managers, we have what we call code of ethics, right? A set of rules, set of values that actually regulate our behaviors and the way we conduct ourselves in the line of our operations or our projects. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking at next. So keep up with the excellent work as we continue in our project management journey together. So come with me to the next section. All right. As professionals, we must uphold the highest ethical standards to ensure trust, integrity, and excellence in our work. So that's what this section is all about. How do we instill trust with the people that we work with, the clients that we're working with, our colleagues, other stakeholders in the project? How do we instill that trust? How do we uphold our integrity and ensure excellence in the work that we do? So that's what this section is all about. So let's dive in. Now we're going to be talking about code of ethics and professional conduct. So I welcome you to this section. Now the underlying factor for this section is simply core values. Everyone has a core value. Every profession has a set of core values. Project management not excluded. So let's look at them in details. First and foremost, the Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct is a set of guiding principles established by the Project Management Institute that outlines the ethical behaviors expected from project management professionals. So the institute, the PMI Institute, as a regulatory body, has a set of um, principles and values, and they expect project managers, you and I, from all around the world, to be able to align ourselves with this code of conduct, with these principles, so that at the end of the day, we'll be able to carry out our professions ethically and get our jobs done much better. Now, this code serves as a moral compass guiding project managers in making ethical decisions and conducting themselves with honesty, fairness, and responsibility. It's important that you understand the code of conduct as a project manager so that you can be able to carry out your work with the highest sense of integrity. Now, let's look at the set of core values as projected by Project Management Institute. Now, the first one there is responsibility, taking ownership of decisions and actions, and ensuring they align with project objectives and stakeholder expectations. So, as a project manager, you have responsibility to ensure that you must achieve in that project. So all these things are expectations from you. Every decision you make, every action you make must actually align with the objectives and the expectations of your stakeholders. Okay? So you must have a high sense of responsibility as a project manager. And secondly, respect. You have to treat all stakeholders with courtesy, fairness, and consideration, fostering a collaborative and inclusive environment. So you must be courteous as a project manager, understanding the fact that you are actually managing people. That's what a project manager actually is, a people manager. All right. So you must be fair and you must be considerate in what you do. So the next thing is fairness, ensuring impartiality in decision making and avoiding favoritism or discrimination. So you must ensure that you don't um, engage in favoritism or discrimination in the line of your work. Next is honesty, communicating truthfully, maintaining transparency, and safeguarding confidential information is a very, very significant core value for project managers. Okay, so keep up the excellent work and we'll continue our journey together. Now, let's look at ethical standards for project managers. The first one is integrity and honesty, respect for individuals, fairness and transparency, responsibility for actions, confidentiality, conflict of interest, compliance with laws and regulations, right? So we'll explore real life scenarios where the code of ethics and professional conduct guides project managers in making ethical choices. So we're going to be exploring that all through this course. What are the key takeaways from this section? Now you understand the purpose and significance of the code of ethics and professional conduct in project management. You've also familiarized yourself with the core values and ethical standards upheld by project management professionals. You've recognized the importance of ethical behavior in building trust and credibility. Now you can apply these code's principles to real project management scenarios. You can apply it in your executing project. You can apply it in your job role, all right, in your current organization. So you find these principles applicable everywhere. So congratulations, you've completed the section on code of ethics and professional conduct. All right. So in the next segments, we'll be looking at foundational elements that form the bedrock for successful project management. All right. But that's going to be in our next class. So we're going to be stopping here for today's class. So I want to congratulate you and urge you to keep up the great work as we continue our journey towards becoming ethical and proficient project managers. So I hope you've enjoyed the class, you've learned some things. I also want to urge you to take advantage of the project management body of knowledge that you now have in your possession. The PM book has been simplified, all right? It's been made very, very easy that even a layman can grasp the concept that are therein. Okay? So, like I said initially, the slides we're using is an abridged version, a summarized version of what you have in the PM book guide. The PM book guide has all these concepts in detail. So I'll admonish you to go through it, all right, as we prepare for our next class. And if you have any question, comments, feedback, you can always send them to me directly on our WhatsApp platform or on the group that I'm going to be creating, like I said. So thank you very much for participating into this class. I'll see you in our next class. Bye for now.